everybody. How is everybody doing? My name's Emily, and welcome back to my channel, Em Reads. This is Tag Tuesday, so I am doing another tag that I was tagged in recently by Daniela at Uncommon Reader, and this is the coffee and books tag. So I didn't plan to actually have a coffee, but it just kind of so happened to, and I'll admit I am 99% of the time not an iced coffee person, but I do like an iced chai. So that's what I have here today. As far as the tag goes, it looks like the original creator of the tag hasn't been able to be found. So if that changes, I will absolutely link them below, or if somebody else knows who it is, I'm happy to credit them below, but unfortunately I don't know who originally created this tag as of right now. But coffee and books tend to be the perfect pairing, so I think this is a fun little tag about different types of coffee and then different types of books. So without further ado, let's get into the tag. The first prompt is black coffee. Name a series that's tough to get into but has hardcore fans. I would probably say the Wheel of Time series. People who love the Wheel of Time series think it is the best thing on the planet. I have not finished that series. I read through, I think, book 6 when I was in like middle school and high school. And I got stuck in, I think, what people call the slog, and never finished it, never picked it back up. I would one day like to eventually finish it, but I don't see that happening any time soon. But I would say the Wheel of Time. Hardcore fans, but also kind of hard to get into. Prompt number 2, Peppermint Mocha. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter or a festive time of year. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. 100% A Christmas Carol. The perfect, easy, short little holiday Christmas read. I think it's perfect for Christmas. Actually, I'll probably read it this December myself. Prompt number 3, hot chocolate. What is your favorite children's book? Okay. I feel like I could take this a few different ways. For very little children, I would probably say Winnie the Pooh. You know, like The House at Pooh Corner. I think that's probably just like the most classic and sweet. I really, really love that. Now, if we're talking about older children who can read, I might say something like The Hobbit or The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Really, there's just something to me about fantasy children's literature that is so special and important, really. Yes, I might say those two for like older children who can read. Those were two that I loved as a child. You know, I mean, growing up, we had a lot of really great books, but they're also really, really sad. I don't know if any of y'all have seen kind of this discourse that's gone on about the children's books that were out and that we were reading around the time that I was in, I don't know, like elementary school or early middle school and stuff, but they were all tragic. So tragic. Things like Where the Red Fern Grows and Sounder, you know, just My Friend Flicka, just all of these things that were just tragic. And honestly, like thinking about them now, I'm like, would I have my child read that? I don't know, maybe. But so we'll stick with like a happy choice in The Hobbit and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Winnie the Pooh, of course. Okay, prompt number 4, double shot of espresso. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Ooh, I don't really read many thrillers or anything like that. But last year I did read The Silent Patient. And that did, I kept turning the pages. Yeah, that one kept me on the edge of my seat. And okay, this might be a bit of a weird, it is a weird choice for this answer, but this was not a page turner or a thriller by any means, but honestly, can I say Mansfield Park by Jane Austen? Because, okay, I read that at the beginning of this year. I had never read it before. I had never seen an adaptation. I did not know the story at all, other than people generally found Fanny Price kind of annoying. And that she was kind of like the poor relation who was in love with the kind of cousin at the house. So like I knew that, but I didn't know the rest of the story. I didn't know about Mr. Crawford and all those kind of things. And I legitimately, I mean, I could guess where the story would end, but I could have seen Austen taking it in different ways and trying to show us different things depending on how she was going to take it. And I couldn't decide what she was going to try to tell us, because she could have done a couple different things. And so I didn't want to put the book down. I don't know if anyone's ever described Mansfield Park as a page turner, but I didn't want to put it down. So take that for what you will. Prompt number 5. Starbucks. Name a book you see everywhere. Probably something by Emily Henry or Abby Jimenez. I don't know what their latest ones are. Or honestly, I still see James by Percival Everett everywhere. And All Fours by Miranda July. I just still see everywhere. Prompt number 6. That hipster coffee shop. Give a book by an indie author a shout out. I'll probably say The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. I actually haven't read this yet, but it is sitting in my Kindle waiting on me. I hear nothing but people rave about it. And the same thing with her second novel, Blood Over Brighthaven. It's also wonderfully rare and great to have a fantasy standalone. So that's wonderful. So yeah, I'll probably say that. Not that she necessarily needs the shout out, but I'll say that one. Because honestly, I need to know more indie authors than I do. Prompt number 7. Oops, I accidentally got a decaf. Well, that's just a tragedy to start with. Name a book you were expecting more from. Okay, for me, that is without a doubt Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I did not like that book. I felt like it had so much potential there. There was potential. I could see it was almost there. But then it just felt so thin and absent, and like all the pieces were there for her to make the points she wanted to, and then she just let it fall. I don't know, it was very frustrating to me. I wanted to like it so badly, and I just didn't. It felt like it was so close, yet so far away. It's almost kind of like the LaCroix of books. You know, people talk about like a pineapple LaCroix just tastes like a carbonated water that rode in a truck next to a pineapple. That's what Station 11 feels like to me. So that's a book I expected more from. Prompt number 8. The Perfect Blend. Name a book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. Does it mean bitter as in like bad, or just like sad? I'm gonna go with sad, because I don't know if I have an answer for the first one. A book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. I think The Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. There are so many great moments amongst the group of men in camaraderie and things like that, but also some really tragic moments that are difficult. and sad, but man, I love that trilogy. It's so good. Actually, I wouldn't mind rereading it sometime soon, to be honest. It was really, really good. And the ending was heartbreaking, but there wasn't really any other answer. And yeah, in the end, it was ultimately satisfying. Okay, prompt number 9. An Irish Pub Song by the Rumjacks, a book that is misunderstood. Daniela also mentioned this book for this prompt, so I promise I'm not intending to copy her, but I honestly, it's probably the best answer I have, and that's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. That book is horribly misunderstood by people who read it in high school and just don't really have the life experience to comprehend it at a deeper level. I mean, I reread it last year, actually, for the first time since high school. Took away completely new meanings that I never touched on before. And probably partly because I didn't pay that much attention to it when I read it in high school, because it wasn't my kind of book. And to be honest, it's still not my favorite classic by any means, but even so, in rereading it, I have a greater appreciation for it, without a doubt, and so much of a greater appreciation for all the layers of it and the depth of it. So that is the last prompt. So I will tag some other people down below, and I hope y'all all get your own coffee and answer this tag. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.